log roll. Oh yeah, that thing you guys learned way back when? What, about 2 weeks ago? Okay. So you guys are going to execute a log roll. Cross over your hands. Now the person at the chest is going to have command.
3, 1,
Okay?
2, 3.
All right. At this moment, we can go ahead and do what? We can sweep the back, clear the back, right? Just like in our head-to-toe examination. That's one thing you want to think of. Less patient movement possible is going to be the best. So instead of rolling the patient doing your head-to-toe and rolling them back, then you're going to bring in a long board because you realize this person has to be put on a backboard. Then why roll them again? You guys got that? Makes sense? Okay, let's wait until that point. Now, everyone knows how to do a log roll. You don't have to see that. But what you want to see is this. Okay? So again, we want the widest portion of the backboard anatomically correct. So this is going to go behind the patient's head and shoulder. Then we have the narrowing in going down towards the patient's feet. So I'm going to place this behind the patient. If the patient is 7 feet tall, do I care if their feet are off the board? No. We don't care if the patient's feet are dangling off the board because it may happen. You may get a really, really super tall patient where the feet are off. Does the feet control the spine? No, but where's the spine? The spine connects the head all the way down to the what? The last portion is called the coccyx, right? The coccyx. The coccyx is all 4, but it's the coccyx which is all confused. Thank you. So, as I place this behind the patient, you guys want to check this out. Okay.
Another question here is how they
Putting on a backboard LA County protocol for people. Okay, for EMTs. All right. So, this is what you want to do. Again, you can see that the patient's head's going to be behind. It's all the way on. His feet basically are going to be just right off the board. Who cares, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this board, I'm going to put about a 45-degree angle. I'm going to press this up against the patient. And what they're going to do is they're going to roll the patient back. And as he does so, I'm going to meet the patient here. As soon as the patient basically touches the board, I'm now going to push down. And then I need to really put a lot of force, not super lot of force, but just enough force to make sure it goes all the way down to the ground. Because the patient's weight being on the side is going to try to force the board to stay in this position. So I got the board up against the patient. They go ahead. You have the command.
2, 3.
Okay, now bring the board down. And I'm holding it down. As you notice, hold on. As you notice, the patient is not centered onto the board. This is not a problem. We're going to fix this. Up here at the head, he's just going to go with the flow. He's not pushing. He's not pulling. He's going to go with the flow. What they're going to do is they're going to actually physically move the patient down and back up. So this is called the zigzag or the S method. So what the patient is they're off the board here. They're going to bring the patient down slightly to center, and then they're going to bring the patient back up. And the patient should be centered onto the board. That is the most important part, bringing the patient centered onto the board. Second most important part are these holes. You want to make sure that there's an access hole directly right at the axis of his armpit, okay? Because this is where the strap is going to go. We want a hole right here. We don't want the hole too low. We want the hole too high. We want the hole right at the axis of his armpit, all right? Got that? So my job basically is to make sure the board does not move. If the board moves, that's a fail, all right? So on your count, you're going to place your hands underneath his armpits. You're going to place your hands right on his hips, okay? No, in his armpits. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to bring the patient down slowly, center, and then you're going to bring the patient back up, and then they should be centered up here. Okay, on your count.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, all better? All right. Is the patient centered? You guys look at it. You guys are the team.
We can just keep doing this until we're perfect.
Pretty good. Hey, you can get it in. Hold right there. Hold right there. Yeah, that's what you guys want. Taking one of those straps. During the final, you're going to ask to secure the patient to the board. All right? Now, if you look in your syllabus, does it say how the patient needs to be secured to the board? Okay. It says chest, hip, knees, head will always be last. All right? I need you guys to remember that. Chest, hip, knees, head will be last. If you secure the head first, automatic fail. We never ever secure the head first. The reason being is we secure the head first, and this person starts throwing up, we got to log roll them. So that means the whole body is now going to shift, but the head's not going to because it's stable onto the board. It's secured. So what's going to happen to their neck? Snap, crackle, and pop. Their injury is going to get exacerbated. They now are paraplegic. You just caused that. All right? You just caused this person to sue you and whoever you're working for millions of dollars. All right? That Larry H. Parker commercial, that guy goes, Larry H. Parker got him $2.5 million. He's in a wheelchair. That's why they only show his face, because they don't want to show him sitting in a wheelchair. He's paraplegic. Now, he's happy, but how happy is he? So, the two techniques I'm going to show you, they're just techniques, all right? They're really good techniques. Okay, the first one I'm going to show you, you can put his arms in. Go over there. Deep tuck. Okay, this one's called the crisscross or the union jack, okay? The buckle will always start here at the base of the seat collar for men and women, okay? Because we don't want it on top of women's breasts. We don't want it here because now it's going to be, or below women's breast because now it's right on the diaphragm, which is then going to impede airway. So we always want the buckle up here. I'm going to take the working end of my first belt. I'm going to go ahead and find that hole underneath this armpit. And I'm going to go through. I'm underneath the board. Pull it through. Every single place that the belt is touching the patient has to be nice and flat. Okay? Okay? There should never ever be a twist. If there's a twist, it's an automatic fail. Alright? Nice and flat. The flatter it is, the more friction and the more stable your patient's going to be. And then going to pass the belt over, down towards the hips. I want you to pass through right there, the hole. If there's a twist underneath the board, who cares? Okay? Because it's not touching the patient. If it's touching the patient, that's flat. Crisscrossing, back over here towards the patient's patellas. I'm going to find this hole right here. I personally, and I want to emphasize that, I personally like to have the strap right above the patellas. So here's his patellas right here. If it's just below, so be it. If it's a little bit higher, so be it. But the main point is that the patellas have to be secured. Chest, hip, knees. Remember that. So as long as the strap is securing the patellas, you're fine. Try not to go directly over the patellas because it's really soft cartilage underneath, and over time, this pressure that the strap is going to cause is going to irritate the shit out of the patient. So, take the buckle of the second belt and you're going to place it through the working end of the first belt. Okay, bring the buckle over here, so it's right there. Good. Okay. Now he's just going to mirror our way back up. Okay? So we're crisscrossing over our straps. Crisscross or the union jack is what this is called. Relax. So this hole right here, I'm going to mirror on its partner over here on this side. It's going to be the hole underneath the top of the armpit. It's way up at the top. You know, the one you got to dig under and you'll find it. There you go. Go through, back around. Ticklish? Are you dead? Okay, nice and flat straps. He's going to go ahead and place that through. Okay, we're not done yet. Okay, what we're going to do now, go ahead. Okay, what we're going to do, if you look, don't worry about cinching it down. If you look, it's loose. We've got all this slack. Okay, we're going to remove all the slack. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to transfer the slack to make sure that the patient's legs are together. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm getting the slack out of the bottom belt. I'm keeping it tensioned here. I'm going to transfer it to the next one. Okay? Take it from the X. And don't jerk. What you want to do is you want to slowly guide up. Okay? You don't want to jerk the straps, because jerking the straps are jerking the patient. So go ahead and transfer. Keep pulling, keep feeding. Keep feeding. Feeding. Don't jerk. Don't jerk. Don't jerk. Keep it. Keep the tension. Keep the tension. Keep the tension. Keep the tension. Okay? Because we don't want the slack to come back. He has the slack here. Now we're going to transfer it to the very top, right here at the chest. Okay? As soon as I do so, I'm going to ask my patient to take a deep breath. Go ahead, do so. And then I sit you down. This allows for chest expansion for proper respiratory rate. Okay? Guys got that? Now I'm not constricting anything. Those two are close. Now I have these headbeds. All right? These headbeds, they can be many different manufacturers make many different things. So when we place these headbeds here on the side. So you take one, take the other one. Using the 2-4-2 method, you're now going to place them on the side of the patient's head.
They're just going to be like this?
Yes. No, it's flat, like that.
One here.
And right there. So using the 2-4-2 method, we're going to go ahead and take over. The first EMT was holding the head, comes out. Now I'm going to take 2-inch width tape. How do I know this is 2 inches in width? Huh? Yeah, it's on the box. Yeah. No. I know approximately from this line in my hand, the crease right here at my palmar, all the way to the top of my middle finger, the end of my phalange, it's approximately 7.5 inches. I know that the creases here on my phalanges are approximately 1 inch. So if you look at that, is that 2 inches? 2 inches? Okay, so you need to, I use this as my measuring device in the field, so I know this is approximately 2-inch width tape. LA County, 2-inch width tape, all right? So I'm going to pull out some tape. I'm pulling out the tape prior to. I don't want to put the tape on and then pull, because if I do that, now I'm jerking the board, right? So I pull out the width of my tape. I go into my patient. I'm going to start at the level of the eyes, okay? I'm going to start on one side. I'm at the level of the eyes. I'm going to come across the top of the brow, go over the arch of the brow here, because these are my anchor points, and then I'm going to come back to the level of the eyes on the other side. So, not or even. Okay, now, and again, anything touching the patient, we want it nice and flat. So again, if I were to place this directly over, it will go directly over his eyes. I don't want that. I want to go directly on one side to start at the level of the eyes. I'm now coming up to the patient's brow, right on top of their brow. I come down and keep it in tension, back down to the level of the eyes on the opposite side. Okay. As soon as the head has been secured, you can now release. The patient is now secured onto the board. The last thing I'm going to do is what? I'm going to check upper and lower extremities, PMCs. All right? Pistol pulse motor sensory cap refill, pulse motor sensory cap refill on all extremities. Okay, all 4. You got that?
What if the patient has long hair?
Cut it.
Really?
If you have to.
What?
You're going to move it out of the way.
Oh.
Okay.
What is hair compared to someone's ability to walk?